Anyways.
Welcome back to the Dime Comic Bros podcast.
We may sound a little defeated because of our main topic, but let me first explain who we are. I am Jacob, joined by Spencer and Colin. Say hello.
Hello.
No.
Wow. I almost got full cooperation that time.
Suck my balls.
We are Dime Comic Bros because we are poor, and we like to share our comics because we like to stretch our dollar because we're poor, and we also like to talk about it most weeks. So here
Just like we like to stretch Colin and share our saliva.
Stretch Colin and share them?
Also that.
Yes.
You can't share me.
Yeah, we can.
I belong to no man.
We can chop you up into little bits and everyone can get a leg. It's all
What's in the box?
My dick.
Today we are talking about Xmen, Origins, Wolverine, the shit stain. From 2009. We just finished a viewing of it, much to our chagrin. The jury's still out whether or not we enjoy this more or less than Howard the Duck.
More.
That's such a hard decision because I don't want to watch either.
To be honest, I will watch this movie if I'm like really sick.
Would you rather
really
be stuck
drunk.
in? Would you rather be stuck in a loop watching Howard the Duck or Xmen Origins Wolverine?
In a loop, like until I die, until I kill myself.
I would honestly
Yeah.
like Howard the Duck more. I think there's more memes to it. There's more things to point and laugh at.
There's
because
more
you
boobs.
cannot take it
True.
seriously.
Actually, I would do Howard the Duck. There's more boobs.
That's
I was
fair.
going-
That's the only thing.
I
that
was
saves
trying
it.
to get there.
Sorry, I took it from you.
Just give him a minute. He'll get there. It's okay. Just hold on.
But also X-Men Origins Wolverine, the shit stain edition, just tries to take itself seriously.
Kind of does.
And it doesn't work.
There's nothing in it that's remotely professional in like the fucking directing, most of the acting, the writing, nothing, but it still acts like it's like high cinema. And
Except for that one scene where Wolverine gets injected and he bursts out of the tub all pissed off because they reused that one shot for several other movies.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He's having a little bit of a constipation problem this morning, folks.
Colin, was there anything at all that you enjoyed about this movie? At all? Anything?
I like the Blob,
Really?
and I like that his tattoo also got fat.
That's fair. That's all you got?
The black man disappears.
That's getting cut.
No.
No, he's recording
It's a genuine criticism of either you lack self-awareness to the point that people can construe something you wrote that way, or it is supposed to be the joke, and both are bad options. Either you're an idiot, or you're a racist idiot. They're both bad. It's funny, though. Like,
Colin was excited for Gambit. I mean, you asked if he was in this one.
Because I was
and we
thinking
said
about
yes.
the Gambit, them making a Gambit movie today. I was like, I can't remember what happened about that.
it's the purple.
Yeah,
He's got a stick.
except he's red. He uses color red in this, not purple.
It's weird.
It's gay.
Because purple's too comic booky.
Because purple's too gay.
True.
They are homophobes.
It's too gay.
Uh-huh.
His Cajun accent is absolute
Even
garbage.
though X-Men is
Very gay. It's very gay.
Very gay.
I do think the funniest moment I did genuinely die a little bit was when Wolverine was slashing at the stupid fire escape, and then the parts they're in nice little perfectly uniform pieces, and then they despawn. They don't. It's not like they're like shreds piling up chest high. It's like no, they're just despawning as soon as they're out of frame. It's so bad. Colin said it looked like Minecraft, and that's pretty true.
Oh, Fortnite!
That too.
Spencer, was there anything in this movie you enjoyed?
More than you guys, to be honest.
Besides that scene where they accidentally got the lighting real good.
Yeah, the one scene where there's creative lighting choices. Honestly, it's like the default opinion, but honestly, the opening's fine.
Why do we keep watching shitty movies?
Because it's entertaining for our listers, maybe.
Because some of them are good. Dude, the last movie we watched was really good, so shut up.
Yeah, no, that was good.
It's 50-50-ish. The opening's fine, like pre-credits, and then the actual credits sequence is like solid.
Because
they blew all their.
They're showing Wolverine and what's his face's brother in like the 1700s.
Yeah, it's like
And
cool, the backstory and child acting.
They fight all through the major American Wars.
That was cool, but then also they just decided that Sabretooth was like gonna rape a woman in the middle of it, and that was kind of yikesy.
Because Vietnam, that's what happened.
Yeah,
folks. Everybody knows that's what happened in Vietnam.
But like, what? Yeah, we're implying it's not every war, but also like, it was so out of left field for a PG-13 movie with like no blood. It's like
there was no blood, wasn't there?
Basically none. Like this is a very tidy movie, but it's like, but that's what you're gonna. And that's not addressed at all.
So,
like, it's not just, he's, like, angry and he'll kill people. No, it's like, no, he was just gonna, like, casually rape a woman. Like,
I don't think
what
there
the
was even
fuck?
a whole lot of language in this movie.
Nope. So weird. I think I said it somewhere it feels like, because we were all thinking it's like a dad movie. Like, it's big and dumb and there are explosions and every dad's like, I bet I could do that. Like that.
Well, I remember doing something like that.
And I would jump off of waterfalls when I was like, whatever. And then on the other hand, it also feels like they dumbed everything so far down and cleaned it up so much that this was supposed to be for like 9-year-old boys. Like, there's no language, there's no anything. Everything is really stupid. There's no logic to anything. It's just big and explosions, and that's it. Like, so weird. It just, bleh. How can you make a Wolverine movie so sanitized? I don't understand.
Because they had to inject him with all that adamantium, and it had to be sanitary.
I really
was really reaching there.
I really want the next whatever iteration of the X-Men we get on film. I really want them to lean into a horror aspect, at least a little bit with some characters on the body horror, because that stuff's nasty. Like, that was one of the only things I wanted New Mutants to do, and then it mostly fucked up on that too.
Yeah.
And that was one of the only movies I think that even remotely attempted that. Like, grafting metal to his skeleton should not just be shoving needles in his skin and hoping for the best. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
What do you mean? That's exactly how it works.
So you and I, Spencer and I, have seen New Mutants all the way through, much to our pleasure, you could say. Which one would you rather watch?
Probably
on an
New
endless
Mutants.
loop?
New Mutants.
Honestly, I would go back and rewatch that 10 minutes.
New Mutants has more to it, at least.
It's got way more wasted potential than this one does.
Yeah, this is so by the
The
numbers.
visuals seem better, obviously.
Sometimes no.
Really?
New Mutants got some pretty bad. Some of it does look solid, and then some of the rest of it looks like dog shit.
It's going with favorite actresses, isn't it?
That one had a shitty Cajun accent in it too.
True. That one was worse. Because it was way more over the top.
Yeah.
But that movie does have an Anya Taylor-Joy, and that's acceptable, if nothing else.
With a shitty Russian accent.
You know what? I don't care if Russian accents are shitty. Nobody cares.
You were the one that complained about it.
I know, because it's
Spencer's the one that complained about everything.
Yeah.
also true.
Very.
But no one does Russian accents well, so who cares?
Are you saying that because actors, like, no actor can actually do one right, or is it just that you don't like Russian accents?
Dude, I literally studied Russia for all of high school, and I started learning the language. It's not because I don't like the Russian language. I've never heard an actor do a really good, convincing Russian accent. They're just acceptable ones.
Can you do one?
No. I'm also not a professionally trained actor either, so that really...
Oh, you're not?
No, I'm not. I, in fact,
what are you
cannot
doing
act
on
for
this
shit.
show?
What are you doing on this
Get
show?
out of here.
It's my bedroom.
Someone open the door and close it, please.
My bed.
No, it's not. It's
Yeah,
our bed.
I came on this bed.
It's our bed, comrade.
Comrade. It's our bed, comrade.
So something I really appreciate in this movie is just Liv Schreiber's performance is fantastic, and I'm very upset that he got screwed out of playing this role a couple of more times through the life of the X-Men movies, because I don't know if the role could have been casted better.
Not for the dynamic that they wanted to go for, no. Which is so weird, because it's not like he's so self-aware where he knows the movie's shit and he's like hamming it up either, but he's also not like completely acting his balls off. It just works.
It just kind of comes naturally to him. Is he even acting? You can't tell.
Good thing. We should probably look into Liev Schreiber and make sure he's not an actual murderer.
Ooh. Liev Schreiber can grow claws out of his fingernails. Confirmed.
True.
Confirmed. In conclusion.
No!
Dad movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The jacket's kind of cool.
2 out of 7.
That's valid. That's very
The
valid.
clean living joke as he spits a cigar out of his mouth is fantastic.
I don't know if that was a joke, though. That's the thing.
I don't care. I just have to give them credit somewhere.
It's funny, but then it's like, are they even self-aware enough to make a scene like this?
I think they were.
don't
They
know.
have to be.
I don't know,
Nah,
dude.
you're right.
There's just not a lick of self-awareness. I like the post-credit scene where Deadpool picks up his own head and is like, shh. And then 80 years later, we get an actual Deadpool movie. That was fine.
And then we get a Deadpool movie where Deadpool kills Deadpool.
Yes.
Yes.
I really wish somebody would like cut that scene into this movie so that it's like the regular movie for the most part, and then he just shoots himself in the head and the movie ends. Credits roll. That would be fantastic.
I'd pay an extra $20 for that on Blu-ray. This movie is at least brief. It's not long. I'll give it that.
It still felt long. Oh my gosh. It's what, an hour 10? It's
an hour 48 including credits.
What?
So it's like an hour 30.
It still felt way longer.
Patrick Stewart's bald head decides to show up at one point and
but it
looks so bad. It's so bad.
And
the
beginning, it's not him.
The beginning part of this whole movie, or actually technically the halfway point of this movie, like from beginning to halfway, that was like the build up to everything, and it was way too fucking long.
It was way too long, but still was undercooked. This feels like the story for this feels like you set up this at the beginning of a trilogy, and then the rest of this you pay off at the end of it. Like it's like, oh, I was on this team and we did all this stuff and we're supposed to feel things, whatever. And then literally 2 minutes later, they're starting to kill them off. And it's like, you need to come back. Like that's what you do after multiple installments later. Mm-hmm. Like it feels like no time has passed because no time has passed and nothing's happened on screen, and they all look the same. 6 years, my balls.
And like I said during our viewing, they just offhandedly say that Wade is dead, that Sabretooth killed him, and it's like he comes back in the end as the villain.
Yeah, it's like, oopsie doopsie.
Like, you don't even know
half the
characters' names.
Half the characters in the squad don't matter anyway, because there's like 2 of them that are comic characters, vaguely, and then the rest of them are just people that they're like, we... You know, if you're going to be an incompetent screenwriter, at least pull characters from the comics and actually just go hard on the fact you don't know how to make new things and just use stuff. But it's like Blob and Sabretooth and Deadpool, sort of. And then everybody else is just some random role. Like
I actually liked Blob.
Blob was fine.
I liked him a lot.
He's fat. It's funny. It's like, guys, look, we got Will.i.am to go in the movie and be like Will.i.am. Like, who cares? Why is this a thing? What is this, Rio? Or Rio 2? Whatever the subtitle of that movie is? The one with the birds, the Will.i.am is in.
I know what Rio is. I haven't seen either of them.
Me neither.
Birds.
I know.
Somehow I still have a soft spot for this movie because I'll watch it if I'm, like, sick. I don't know why. If I'm really loopy, if I'm hopped up on a bunch of medications, then
perfectly
it's
legal, of course.
Obviously.
That's what he always tells us.
I swear she was of age. Anyways,
I thought my drink tasted funny.
Nah, don't worry about it. It's all good. It was more fun to watch.
You kind of look like Cosby too.
Wow.
Can we please move on to the movie? I'm so done talking about this. This is almost as long as the movie was not.
Not even close.
I don't have anything else. It was more fun to watch with people, so if I was talking mad shit, someone might have laughed at some of my horrible jokes.
Yeah.
So, can we move to something much higher quality? The Book of Boba Fett episode 3. Oh.
This one had some low notes, in my opinion.
Oh boy. Oh, okay. All right. Who wants to go first then?
Our son didn't watch it.
Nice.
That's literally the one thing. Yesterday I was sat and I was like, I gotta watch Boba, and then some fucking thing happened. I don't even remember what happened to me, and it was when I flatlined, and I couldn't remember anything.
You kind of look like you just came back from the dead. But you look good, though. It's a good dead.
I feel like I came back because I stayed up till 5.
You had the rejects in the streets that Booba goes to talk to and is like, you're not paying your bills or whatever. And they're like, we don't have a way to pay our bills or whatever. And he's like, that's so true. The system's whack. You should work for me. And they're like, yay, cool. And then they go... And I forget what happens, but they're trying to chase down a bad guy, and all the rejects jump on their Power Ranger scooters. And it looks like something out of a 2000s Fast and Furious movie. It looks so bad.
I love it.
The effects were not good. The scooters were so colorful. It literally looked like a Power Rangers thing.
I thought it looked very George Lucas-y, if I'm being honest.
The way the scooters moved, I guess I could see that, but the bright colors do not. They feel so out of place on Tatooine.
Those people don't look like they're from Tatooine. They look like they're from Coruscant. Like, they look like they're from... Do you think all of Tatooine is, like, one city?
No.
Like, the cultures are different. People come from different places.
Who has 4 brightly colored scooters in a line for them to jump onto? Like,
those were theirs, so they probably came from somewhere else. I liked that. It's admittedly really goofy, but it reminded me of... there's another movie that George Lucas did, the name of which I cannot remember. It's a car movie before he did Star Wars.
Oh, American Graffiti.
Thank you. I haven't seen it in ages, but it's really good. It felt like a George Lucas-y type thing. Like, not all of Tatooine or even Mos Espa is going to be the same, whether in terms of class or personality. Like, I see them like... they're not like cyborgs in the way that we've seen them before in Star Wars.
I liked the reject scene to begin with because it felt like a dark alleyway in Tatooine. So that was all fine. Their outfits and whatever, it was definitely different from Tatooine.
Oh yeah,
I'm bitching about the scooters and that scene.
But the scooters they look like like mobility scooters on nitrous, and I think that's definitely self-aware. And I don't think that's an accident. They're like, oh, they just kind of look like shit, and we just gotta run with it. I think that was so fucking funny. I was laughing through the chase sequence. I thought it was great.
I actually typed Book of Boba Fett
Those
into
are
Google.
fucking weird.
Yes, they are so weird. Big rip to the Tusken tribe that Boba was with.
Yeah,
that's a big oof.
I don't like those at all. I hate that.
I hate that. I thought the Wookiee fight was kind of cool. That was pretty solid.
I'm really excited for Chrysanthemum to be represented in this show. I want more of him, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're just continuously incorporating characters from the comics into some of the shows, and then some of the people from the shows make it into the other like they're actually doing this cross media stuff. It's not it's I don't know. It actually shows that people give a shit.
Do you think we will get Dr. Aphra at all?
No. They haven't crossed paths in ages, unless I'm mistaken.
I hope that we don't ever.
I would be okay if she stays in the comics. I do love Dr. Aphra, but I feel like it's one of those things you should if you cast someone, it feel like everyone's been, at least from what I can recall, most of the everyone was like, yeah, Rosario Dawson can be Ahsoka, that's fine. Like, no one was like really opposed to that. Everyone kind of was on board with it to some extent or another. I don't feel like there's someone who really fits that role really well. She has a really good voice in the comics.
I think if Aphra was to be on like anything, it'd be like Clone Wars type of thing, or like or like Bad Batch, just like as a character that showed up.
Yeah,
I think that's the most that they should.
I don't think that should
be a kid. She would. Yeah. Never mind.
But so it looks like the Pikes are just gonna be the kind of the big bads. I think it doesn't look like they're hinting at anything much bigger than that. There's just a shit ton of Pikes.
Not yet. I mean, we are halfway through the show now.
We're literally halfway through, so they're not building up much else. I'm fine with that.
Which is kind of weird.
I think it's a little anticlimactic, but
offbeat, which could be a good thing. But yeah, I'm definitely waiting for something to happen, and it's not.
Yes, I think we're done in the past now. I think we're just in the current time because Boba left the Tuskens for like 5 minutes and then they all fucking died. So I think we're done with that now. So I think we're gonna get a lot more primary plot progression.
The scooters don't seem like Star Wars to me though.
You gotta explain. If you're gonna say it, you gotta back it up.
I'm kidding. No, I just don't.
It does feel really awkwardly paced.
Correction. I feel like Star Wars, a lot of things are used, because that's like one of the first things I ever heard George say is like, everything's supposed to be used. Everything's
like
supposed
run
to feel
down.
used. Yeah, it's all used. Those don't, it's fine, but how they're so round bothers me a bit. Like, because I like when I see scooters and they're kind of just like these long, like, things, you know?
Like a long board, basically, with a handle?
Yeah.
Kind of like, you know, when we saw the first ones in the first episode, not scooters, but they're
yeah.
Speeder bikes.
Yeah. So like stuff like that where I don't know. It's a little too much for me, but I'll get over it because it's only one fucking episode. You know.
I like the fact that they're I think putting a decent amount of effort into making Boba Fett an actual like character, and not in like a really like he himself is really interesting and gripping. He's not.
Nope.
Like he's mostly emotionally stunted, and also he's only 41, even though the actor's in his 60s because fuck time, who cares? Not a hot take. We did discuss this ages ago. I think back when we first started, I really still think that they should have done Daniel Logan, the original young actor, because the timeline does fit up more. I do love Tamora Morrison, though, so I have no actual problem with it. It's like, okay, he looks like shit. They make him look even more beat up, which is fine. You know, the actor's like 65, like whatever. But he's supposed to be an unaltered clone, so he's supposed to be 41. So are we saying that extra 20 years of like body damage is all from the Sarlacc pit? Maybe. That doesn't feel like it's being addressed.
No, I don't think it's supposed to be from the Sarlacc pit.
I mean, some of it. I think some of it definitely is. Like the fact that it seems like he's brittle. I think that definitely is. Like the fact that he's like, I'm gonna go immediately back into my back tank now because I can't do anything else. Like that. He's almost going outside like performatively in a sense to be like he's waving his dick around, you know? But like he does need to go back in because he will die if someone punches him.
But also there's no payoff. Like he keeps trying to throw his weight around and he gets pushed back and then there's nothing after that.
I'm wondering
like,
what the trajectory of that is of like him, because he's with some people, like with the gang that he just put on his payroll, basically.
Right.
Like, so he's gaining respect from some people, and then other people are like, you're like a piece of shit, no one cares about you, and then a lot of people just don't care for him at all. So I'm wondering what's going to be the turning of the tide.
Right.
It's got to be something pretty big, I think, if we're going to go, the whole town now loves him or whatever.
So I don't think, to go back a couple fucking words ago, I don't think he's like brittle because he actually is. I don't think he's like that brittle. I think he's definitely damaged from over the years, not from the Sarlacc pit, because he wasn't really in there for too long. He was like in there for maybe the 40 an hour.
Yeah, a couple of hours maybe.
A couple of hours. An hour tops, I feel like.
It was still daylight. So.
It was daylight.
But it's Tatooine, so it's always daylight.
No.
Or almost always.
Okay.
We need to argue
Fuck
the
off.
day-night
Fuck
cycle
off.
of Tatooine.
Fuck off. And it's more like he's just using it as a crutch because he can. Like, he's so done, he just doesn't want to be a bounty hunter anymore. Because we've already seen him beat the shit out of people in Mandalorian. So he's not that brittle.
True.
He's fine. He's just like, oh, I have a thing that can heal me all the time? Fuck yeah.
That's fair.
He's just going to go in because he's a
sleep in
40-year-old guy.
Yeah.
I'd sleep
What
in one.
40-year-old wants to do anything anymore?
That's fair. I feel like there's, in a sense, I would like to believe it's not an accident, that there's a little bit of a disparity.
You're 21 and you don't want to
We're already like that, yeah.
anymore, right?
It's because my parents raised old men, okay?
Yes.
True. It feels like there is a disparity between how he was portrayed in The Mandalorian and this show, and I don't want to believe that that's an accident, because even just with some of the other elements of the show that really aren't as great, that's a really big accident, I think, because that's integrated on a story level of like, oopsie doopsie, we just made him like really old when 5 minutes ago he was kicking the crap out of people. Like, there's got to be something going on there, I think. More than just they're like, oops, well, he looks old, so we should treat him like he's old or whatever. Like,
I think it's just because he's using it as a crutch, because he can just...
But, like,
then
they have to address that, because he, even in The Mandalorian, like, he still did stuff, and there was obviously, like, that initial fight, which was bonkers good. Mm-hmm. But, like, even beyond that, he mostly just flew the ship. Like, he was pretty not involved. Yeah. He was kind of just sitting around. So... Yep. It feels like you might want to address that, because otherwise I don't think you can... The fact that we're literally talking about it and we don't exactly agree on what the point of that is kind of the problem.
Yep.
I think you're probably right, but the fact that the show doesn't really tell me that in any direct way is not good.
I feel like that's the correct way of how it's supposed to be, but I don't think that's what they're using it for.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, is I don't think that's actually the plot or the story. I think that's what it should be, and it makes more sense.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense.
It's just a weird feeling. It doesn't really bother me that much. It's just odd.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Moving on.
Colin. Colina, what have you been doing?
I read the first 3 and only 3 issues of Robin and Batman.
Ooh.
Now, let me pull it up real quick. Because I can't remember the writer or the artists.
Or what year it came out?
I came out last year.
It's just the 3 issues, right?
Yep, it's just the 3. It's
Right.
3 out of 3 by
Sick.
Lemire and...
Give me a second.
Jeff Lemire?
Yes.
Wow.
I remember discussing the announcement of this.
Let's see. Design. Not gonna be the right thing.
Publisher would be DC Comics.
Publishers, DC Comics, of course.
No, I think Batman came from Image Comics. Yeah, actually.
So written by Jeff Lemire, art and colors by Dustin Nguyen. I can't remember. Letters by Steve Wands.
Nguyen.
Yeah, so this Robin and Batman, it's 3 chapters, and it is about Richard Grayson Robin, and it cuts into him already being with Bruce, and he's soon...
Is he age 12?
Richard Grayson, age 12, dick size 2 inches.
Fucking
hell. And he is freshly orphaned.
Ooh.
And he's living at the manor and being taught by Batman. He's not Robin yet. And the story is just him kind of just... They show us scenes of him meeting like the Justice League and the sidekicks of Justice League and his encounters with Batman and one of the main villains, Killer Croc.
Ooh.
So the 3 main characters are Killer Croc, Robin, Batman.
Killer Cock.
And what's cool about this is that they integrate Killer Croc into Robin's like story. Killer Croc was one of the circus freaks.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was like in like a tank and whatever, and they'd feed him fish and shit.
Was it
like,
a back to tank?
It's a back to tank. No, it's a fucking giant swimming pool.
That's
and
how
shit.
he became the Killer Croc.
Ooh. And so Killer Croc is just trying to get revenge because he's like, oh, everyone treated me like shit, and you got all the happiness and blah blah blah. You got parents that love you and blah blah blah. And I want to kill Batman so you can have another dad that's dead and shit like that.
Nice.
It's really good. I really love the art style.
That
and
art
the story
is
really
fucking
good.
gorgeous.
It is fantastic. I love it. I don't like the second Robin suit. I actually like the homemade suit that Robin made. I actually really liked it. There's a lot of really good scenes between Robin and Alfred and like Robin and Batman. Like Batman actually rewarded Robin with like words of affirmation. It's like you're good. Like you're a good boy.
God
like,
damn,
good
Batman
son.
not being an absolute piece of shit.
That's
That's
how it looks
amazing.
the whole time.
Yeah, that's the second Robin suit.
No, I'm saying
that's the art
that-
style the entire time. Yep.
Dang.
Yeah, it's really good. That's the art style the entire time.
That'd be some watercolors, all
I
right.
have the first 2 issues, and then I got the third one on Comixology.com.
Oof.
It's fine. I like Comixology, actually. I actually like it. I'm not going to buy...
But now you don't own all 3 physically, and
I'm going to
cry.
buy the third one physically anyway.
Okay, cool. Because otherwise, I will cry for you.
I will buy the third one physically. I'm just waiting to go buy it. A lot of really good interactions between Batman and Bruce, and like Alfred's like fucking smacking the shit out of Bruce sometimes. It's like, dude, be an adult. And he's like, fine, he has to go to school and shit, stupid shit like that.
That's nice.
It's just really good, nice short read.
Nice.
I give it it's a solid 6 out of 7.
Damn, bro.
How much did you spend?
I spent,
Total.
so if we're gonna round it up, I spent $18.
Wow.
Worth it?
Oh yeah, because also the issues aren't like regular, like, you know,
Yeah.
issues. They're kind of got that like thicker spine to
Ooh.
it. Yeah, they're nicer and they're kind of they're a little bit longer.
Nice.
I feel like they're a little bit longer than normal.
Is there some ultimate twist? Is there a Joker? Is there a Joker?
No, just Killer Croc.
Damn, bro.
The only villain.
No big twist at the end?
No big
Nice.
twist. It's just Killer. It's just a nice story.
Fuck yeah.
It's well contained. I like it's not like anything. Just the last. It's just more like Robin's. Like I don't have to be. Oh, and it's narrated by Robin, of course, because he's like has this like diary and shit.
Aw,
And-
it's a journal, not a diary.
That's what he says. Too. And so
Such a boy.
Bruce got actually into his journal, and that's how he made the second Robin suit for him.
Damn, bro.
And he got pissed off.
That's
with
a
that.
minor
And then
violation
Alfred,
of privacy.
It's a big violation.
Big cringe.
Big. But Alfred got him a new journal to write in, and so like throughout the whole thing, he's like trying to be like Batman, but then he realizes by the end, I don't have to be the darkness. I can be the light.
Whoa.
I can be my own person.
Damn, bro.
At the age of 14, he realizes that. I wish I realized that. That is
Fair. Very nice.
yes, very good.
Jacob.
Eh?
Have you done anything?
Ain't done nothing.
Nice.
Just
Really?
kidding. No.
JK.
Nutting in your mouth. JK, nutting in your mouth.
The fuck?
I know something you don't. I know something you'll never know.
Colin, are you alright?
I think we broke
No.
him.
I'm not alright.
I read Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by James Tynion IV
Turtles.
and Freddie E. Williams II and Jeremy Caldwell. Put out by IDW and also kind of DC. But it's
Oh.
IDW and DC.
Damn, bro.
They teamed up like
remember
Batman
that.
and TMNT.
Yeah, I remember
Wow.
that.
Damn, bro.
Why are you staring at me?
Because I was waiting for you to say put out by DC, and I was gonna be like, no. This one's tough. So a little bit of history with my knowledge of Batman and TMNT. I rented the animated movie, what, a year or two ago? Probably 2 years ago.
This is where my parents died. Sorry.
How a bummer.
You broke him. This is your fault. This is why we can't have nice things.
That's where my family died, Raphael. How a bummer.
Is that actually a real panel, too?
Not that I know of.
Wait, can I
it's
see
not?
it
Sure.
real quick?
Oh, boy.
So I rented the movie 2 years ago expecting nothing. It sounded awful, and I came out loving it. It's fantastic. So I had higher expectations for this book, and it's fun. It's mostly the movie, as far as I can remember. But I think the artwork is worse in the book than the movie, because there's some rough shots in this book, dude. Like, every time the Batmobile is shown, it's just a big black blob. It's terrible.
He's right. It's the animated series Batmobile.
But it's not
not
defined at all.
And
It
then
looks
there's
like
a different Batmobile.
Ooh, that's
it
kind of
looks
weird.
like somebody-
always a different Batmobile.
it looks like somebody finger painted the Batmobile.
It's like
It's
somebody finger banged the Batmobile.
yes, it's awful. The Turtles are fantastic though. They are drawn very, very well. Batman's just okay. I'd prefer a different suit, but I'll leave that to Colin.
Is
Yeah,
it
the
too...
Batsuit sucks.
Is it too abbed?
I mean, it's not as bad as Injustice.
It reminds me of Injustice.
I'd say this one's better. The story's fine.
Shit.
They had this huge plot device, which meant that the Turtles couldn't stay in Batman's world. So that was kind of lame. But then I figured out that they had 2 more books that I might have gotten at Jetpack today.
Damn.
It's fine, honestly.
I do like me some turtles.
That's where my parents died.
It is a real panel.
It's a real panel.
But he doesn't
say anything.
Oh.
How a bummer.
That would be fucking amazing.
That would be amazing.
At least the meme is based off of something.
Right?
How much did you buy it for?
I don't remember. I was trying to find that out.
Did you buy it for cover price?
Maybe
What's
it's
cover price?
$17.
That's not bad.
I
That's
feel
pretty
like I
thick for that.
got it for like 10 or 15.
damn bro.
I wouldn't buy
I don't know if I would have bought it for cover price, but
But then you went and bought 2 more books
I
at
did.
cover price.
exactly.
You're a dumb fuck.
I know. So something I want to talk about too is that there's a huge section in the back. Like that much of the book is just alternate covers, which is fantastic. You know I love me some alternate covers, but some of the artwork is literal shit. Oh my gosh.
Let me see.
That guy shows up a couple of times, and every time it looks like a child with their crayons.
It's literally Kevin Eastman.
Yes.
It's not the actual guy that does.
Yes.
Yes.
That's not some of his best work, that's for sure.
He is kind of shit anyway.
Sometimes, yeah.
Even his best stuff looks like shit to me.
I do like these. I
love that.
Those aren't bad.
I like the sepia tone. That's kind of cool.
I love the black and white with the mask colors coming through.
From this angle, this looks cool.
I like this one.
But yeah, there's a large
a lot of
section
covers. Holy cow.
in the back of the book
this angle.
with alternate covers. There were 6 issues total, and the story actually ran together really, really well, so that I had a hard time figuring out where they broke up each issue.
Yeah.
I finally figured it out in the last 2 or 3 issues, but the first half was like, this is all one big freaking issue. But yeah, a lot of alternate covers, and I kind of like that a lot.
Yeah. I like the fact that each one of these covers has multiple iterations. You have your black and whites or your like different colors or whatever. And
Right.
then the normal colored version, I really like that one.
But they also don't beat it to death.
No, it
You've
doesn't
got
feel like it's too much.
2 alternates of the same cover, and then you move on. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Kevin Eastman is very much so a better writer than he is an artist. But
So yeah, suggested price $10.
cool. Cowabunga, dude.
Oh, a bummer.
So I read Superman, The One Who Fell. It's a collected edition that includes Action Comics 1029 and Superman 29 through 32. So this is the end of... excuse me. This is at the end of Brian Michael Bendis' tenure as the writer for Superman and Action Comics. This is just after that. This is when Philip K. Johnson was taking over, but before the... Effectively, this is while Superboy, or Jonathan Kent, was aged up, which was a choice by Bendis to age him up. That was real weird. But before he runs off to his own book and before Superman goes out into space for the current run and the future state stuff and all of that. So this is like, it's kind of a filler book in a sense. Yeah, that one's pretty yikesy. Yeah. So it's basically a filler book between 2 different eras, essentially. I think it's good. It's fairly straightforward. It's just... the themes are uber heavy-handed. No real problems there. It's just... It basically is about there's this a lot of the dialogue in the book is basically about there's this moment when you're a kid where you see your parents like stumble for the first time and you finally realize that they're not invincible. It's basically all about that concept. I know, right?
What?
Yeah, that concept that becomes abundantly more clear when your dad is literally fucking Superman. Yeah, and about the fact.
Wait.
Yes.
Your dad's fucking Superman.
Okay.
Yes.
Your dad's Batman.
I
Yes.
did not see that coming.
Your dad's Lex Luthor.
But I did see my dad coming into Superman.
Oh my gosh! Shut up.
That's what you said.
I saw my dad coming to Superman.
Oh my gosh. Basically, Superman and other Superman go to space. They deal with some alien problems. That stuff is like fine. This does feel like basically filler in a non-derogatory sense. It's like we need to kill a few issues before we can really ramp up the plans that we have. So yeah, it's got some really good dialogue. I like this. I really love the dynamic between Jonathan and Clark. It's amazing stuff. It was great when Jonathan was younger, and it's awesome now that he's older. So there's some weird back and forth because Superman and Lois didn't have like a good 5 years with their son, so he's grown up to be like, what is he, like 17 now? So they just missed out on this big chunk of life. So they're awkwardly dealing with that, and he knows when his dad dies, or he think he does, so he's acting all weird about that. And he's insecure because his dad's Superman. That's going to make you insecure. And all sorts of weird stuff. It was good. The art was fine. Nothing really exciting. There were 2 different artists because it's 2 different runs. Both of them were fine. Honestly, some of it was kind of, It was really, really simple. It felt kind of like they were speed running through it.
Speedrun strats.
I bought it for like $15. Feel like that was a little much, but it was good.
What's cover price?
I bought it at cover price. So it was between like $14 and $18. It was fine. I like the fact that I'll have it on my shelf to bridge multiple eras of Superman books, but that's about it. I probably won't read it again for a while. Colin, have you done anything else?
Yep.
Ooh.
I have read Volume 1 of Superior Spider-Man,
Ooh.
My Own Worst Enemy.
Ooh.
Peter Parker spent a lifetime living up to the responsibilities his powers foisted upon him, but his story finally ended dramatically in the historic Amazing Spider-Man number 700.
Foisted.
Now, the new Amazing Spider-Man has arrived, and he is better in every single way. Smarter, stronger, superior, and he'll prove it, both to himself and the world, when he faces down the all-new Sinister Six. But is this all-new Spider-Man in cahoots with J. Jonah Jameson? And has Carly Cooper figured out the Superior Spider-Man's secret identity? Plus, Spider-Man and Mary Jane reunited? Question mark.
So this is when Doc Ock was inside Spider-Man's head, right?
So this is the series that came after the issue where Doc Ock switched bodies with Peter Parker. So Peter Parker died inside of Doc Ock.
Rip.
But in this, we learn that there's this weird ghostly like Peter Parker that's hanging around Doc Ock, and he's kind of doing like a commentary on him, not as a narrator bubble, but as like a character that can't be heard or seen by anyone else. But we know he's there, and we learn that he's created because Doc Ock still has Peter Parker's memories inside of him. So all those memories created a Peter Parker, kind of like how Wanda created like a Vision.
Yeah.
So it's like that. And throughout this, Doc Ock also like feels the same thing. So no matter what, he feels whatever Peter Parker would have felt. But he doesn't know exactly how to react like Peter Parker. So like he saves Mary Jane, he feels exactly the emotions for her. I mean, anyone would.
True.
But like how Peter would have. But he doesn't know how to react. And so I've been wanting to read this run for such a long time, and it is everything I hoped it to be. I love Superior Spider-Man. So Doc Ock as Spider-Man is probably one of my favorite Spider-Mans ever, because he figures out how to be Spider-Man and live in Peter Parker's life, because he doesn't go to every single problem. That's Peter's biggest problem, is he always goes to every single problem. He thinks that like with responsibility, great power comes with great responsibility, but he doesn't have to attach himself to every single problem in New York. Like,
right.
Doc Ock figures out that he can, or invents these little spider bots and puts them like all around the city, and they tell him like, here's this here, here's this there, and he'll like either go to that, or he'll be like, reroute that to like the fire department or the police department. So he's also talking to the police and the firefighters, not just like randomly showing up and going gun-ho like how Peter would. He's kind of just like, hey, here's your job. I'm a good citizen, not just like a dude that's going to take your job, which is kind of cool. And he makes a bunch of other gadgets that are added to the Spider-Man. Also, the suit, it is one of my favorite Spider-Man suits. I love this suit. Like,
it is really hot.
it is so
hot,
so tasty.
It looks just slightly malicious.
The
I
spider
like it.
on the back looks weird. It
I
looks like a
love that
bloated
spider.
tick.
I love it. I mean, Spider-Man's back spider's always been
Kinda
bloated
funky.
Twick.
But
A bloated.
Whoa, a bloated tick.
No, Spider-Man has been a bloated twink.
He is a twink.
bloated
You kind of-
lilac?
We don't talk about Twi'leks here.
I love
You
the
don't.
eyes. So, and he also figures out just what to do with his family. Like, also, he loves The View, and I do too.
Yeah, true.
Fantastic. I'm reading the third one right now, but I finished the first one and I wanted to talk about it.
Wow.
It is.
Does that mean you skipped the second one?
No,
Okay.
I've read the second one, but I didn't want to talk about it yet.
Nice. Very cool. Very based and spidered.
It is a very good run. I will say that Doc Ock is a better Spider-Man in my opinion.
Oh, damn. I can't wait until the comic just comes in and wrecks your shit and is like, actually, he's a massive piece of shit and he fucked over all this stuff and Peter's better.
No, he is a piece of shit sometimes, but like, the thing is,
He does try to fuck Aunt May all the time.
So the reason why like he is also trying to be a good guy is he's not doing like a Kraven's Last Hunt thing where he's trying to defeat Spider-Man by being better Spider-Man.
Right.
He's like, he learned in that comic, like, through his memories and through his emotions, he's like, you know, you're right.
Yeah.
With great power does come great responsibility. I'm going to be Spider-Man.
I should stop being such a dickhead.
And that was like a promise he actually made to Peter that he would be a good Spider-Man. Or
I think
Spider-Man.
he's just doing it to get with Aunt May.
No, he hasn't
It's like the 18th. It's like the 18th time he's
He has
done
not tried to be with Aunt May once in this entire series.
Well, that's because he's stuck in Peter's body. Just wait until he gets out.
Oh my word!
This isn't the same Spider-Man run where Spider-Man screws himself and becomes a great big spider and births Spider-Man, right?
That is from Ultimate Spider-Man ages ago.
Ultimate. I always get
that was ages ago.
This is main continuity.
Adjective mixed up. Ultimate, superior,
superior,
uncanny.
Well, no, superior is just like the run. It's the main continuity.
It literally overtook the Spider-Man book stopped printing during this period.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bit sussy. They're like, we're gonna kill Peter Parker forever. Lies, obviously.
Well, the whole point of it was just so like the writer could test things out. It's like basically how Ultimate Spider-Man was.
Yeah.
Test things out, but they tested it in like original continuity.
Yeah.
So and the idea was just to take some ideas that did work and they keep it.
Yeah.
And it's really good, really good. He actually makes his appointments. He actually goes back to school. He's getting his doctorate.
Damn, bro.
Because Doc Ock's like, wait, Peter's not a doctor? How is he doesn't have a doctorate? I can't live in this body if I'm not a doctor. I'm going to college. That's literally how I'm like, I love this man.
That's funny.
And he just does what Peter should be doing, honestly. Making appointments, not going to every single problem.
Well, speaking of Spider-Man.
Ooh.
Have you read Spider-Man too?
Yes, but I'm only halfway through it.
Okay.
But I watched a Spider-Man movie.
Oh, damn. Which one?
The newest one.
Oh, boy.
The No Way Home one.
Why are you talking about it?
Oh, boy.
Why wouldn't I be talking about
Because
it?
we haven't seen it.
It's fine. Dude, we've already had everything spoiled because the internet sucks.
I know.
And it's Jacob. He's probably not going to get that far into it anyways.
I actually hadn't had anything spoiled for me besides what's in the trailer or whatever.
You are so...
And
I
also,
know.
we can just not listen to him and let him do his deal. Choose.
Red pill.
Anyway, sorry, Jacob. The No Way Home one.
I'm pleasantly surprised. I honestly think Spencer will like it. I told him a month ago I was going to say that, but I honestly firmly believe that you're not going to violently hate it.
That's something.
I think you're going to almost like it.
Almost like it.
Because it brings back so much of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man stuff. And yes, it gets a little too homage-y, maybe. You could probably bitch about that because you'll find anything to bitch about. We've already established this. But
True.
It incorporates so much of that trilogy that I think you'll end up liking this movie. It reminded me very much so of how Willem Dafoe did a fantastic Green Goblin.
I'm hearing nothing but nonstop praise for that. That's good.
Yeah.
Fat badonkadonk.
Oh my gosh, shut up.
I had completely forgotten about that from the original trilogy, and he does a fantastic job. He almost kind of hams it up, to be honest, but it's good. You'll like it. The Amazing Spider-Man stuff is included too, but not as much, which is fine. It was a nice even balance of all three series. I almost said trilogies. Rip.
Don't rip my heart out like that, man. Stop reminding me.
I was honestly expecting a great twist, like, ooh, psych, you didn't see Mephisto coming, but there wasn't. There was no grand entrance of some superior bad guy. It was just the plot that you see in the trailer. It's pretty freaking straightforward, and it's good. They wrap it up in the end. Like, yeah, of course it could be continued easily, but I don't think they're gonna. There's no need for it. There's no cliffhanger. Ooh, we had this. Like, it's over. It's done.
It's not.
Or it could be. Like, It's a nice.
Yes, he does, but shut up.
Why is he saying that?
It's a nice ending point. The way they left it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
What are you freaking out about?
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
You know they're making another trilogy, right?
With whom?
Tom. We did talk about this. Yeah, we
he's getting
literally
another
talked
trilogy.
about this.
It's not the end. That all those 3 movies.
Yeah.
That's his origin story.
Which is the
That's the
But they're skipping forward.
stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
They're skipping
That is
forward
the
in time.
laziest.
It
whatever.
is, but it's his origin story.
I know. It's just one of those things that's like, I'm sorry that you...
They planned it from the beginning. No, they
you didn't. You literally didn't.
They
But
didn't.
anyways,
They're jumping forward in time, though, right?
No.
It's continuing right from this moment.
nobody knows because Tom isn't signed on for another contract yet.
Right,
He said
yeah.
he'll do it, and the Sony has said they're like, we're working on making our plans. They don't have anything laid out yet.
Anyway,
So it's going to be at least a few more years. And then John Watts, if they do John Watts again, has to go make Fantastic Four first.
what do you know about Venom in this movie?
I know the thing. Which
Okay,
actually does trigger the ever-living shit out of me.
when we watched Venom 2, we were like, they're gonna force him into the Spider-Man movie because multiverse shit. And they didn't.
but
He
it
was
was just
kept
so dumb.
to the end credits scene, and he was like, something weird's going on, and then blips back to his world.
That's
like,
so fucking retarded.
I like it. It's
There's no
not,
purpose to doing it
It's
then.
not
They did it just to
ham-fisted.
piss us off.
Yeah,
That's
they
the whole
did.
point.
They
It's
did
a
it to
meme.
they did it to drop the symbiote in the universe so they don't have to explain it later. That's it. It's fucking lazy storytelling bullshit.
Drop it. But he didn't get dropped.
Yes, they left it. It leaves behind a little thing.
It's a little sliver
Oh,
behind.
does it?
Yeah,
Ah!
that's it. That's genuinely retarded.
That is the worst version of how he gets this dumbass symbiote suit ever.
We haven't seen they could work. I'm just
Actually,
saying.
like the original version of how he got the symbiote, where he got it on that like war planet.
Yeah, I know. I thought he was gonna get it while he was out in space. If I'm being honest, I was before Infinity War came out. I was
would've
like,
been cool.
I thought there could have been a way that they were like, yeah, it got attached to his boot.
That would have been so.
And
good.
they could have.
Yeah,
They didn't have to
but-
do any of the weird Secret War stuff. They could have just been like, it got stuck in part of his boot.
Somehow
and
it's
then
on
they
Titan.
didn't. And then they didn't deal with it until even the next movie. It was staying on his bookshelf through the third movie, and they don't talk about it for ages. That would have been fine with me.
That would have been perfect.
But anyways, just
If the world burns, this series is closed sufficiently, in my opinion.
that
I
new
like it.
suit does look fucking sexy though. That's hot.
I mean, that speaks to your sexuality,
Oh my
but
god, no! I'm gonna bitch slap you. Shut up.
there were...
The suit, you say?
We're not shown. That's a part of the thing that because I haven't seen the movie, I can't testify to how the thing's visually shown. And again, seeing it in screenshots and clips or whatever, the design, what appears to be something that I'd like, and the fact that he makes it is good. Blah blah blah. But the fact that the final swing is so anticlimactic is fucking retarded, and you can barely see the suit. That's a genuine tragedy to cinema. Like this is supposed to be a big deal. Why is this like a little whoosh and that's it? Like, come on.
I don't really like the spider. That's it.
I don't like it either. I appreciate the fact that it looks like he took inspiration from the other two Spider-Men. I like that.
I wish they would go and use the really like the generic Spider-Man spider that's been used for years. I wish they would do that.
Well, considering they'll give him 4 more suits in the next movie anyways, it'll fucking happen.
Yeah, that's the one biggest thing I hate about this.
This movie in particular, I know.
It's very close to this,
Yeah, I like that Spider.
but I like the spider.
But anyways,
Because I know how you are, I honestly think you are going to regret not seeing it in theaters. Because
When's it leaving?
it's going to be so cool in big screen or whatever. I think you should go see it. Even though you're boycotting.
I need to go see it because I didn't even get to see the second one in theaters.
have you even watched Far From Home? Nope. I think you should. I don't really like it, but I think you should definitely watch it.
I
Before.
need to. It's just I never
Yeah, you should
had
watch
the
it.
time, and I don't have it. And also,
You can borrow my disc.
okay, I'll do that. I'll watch it tonight. No, I'll watch
That's a
Doctor
lie.
Sleep tonight.
Yeah. There's another thing you're loaning from me. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. I will take your word for it. I still won't watch it until it's on disc, but that'll be in 5 minutes from now with how fast they move on this stuff. So.
I think you mean it'll be on Disney Plus in 5 minutes. But
No, because
whatever, I
it's
see what you
Sony.
mean.
They're
It's Sony.
they're not
They
going
don't
to
have the other two.
Yeah, they're not putting that stuff on there. They wouldn't dare.
I forgot about
I've been
that.
wanting to watch The Amazing Spider-Man, like the original.
Dude, I'll do that.
cartoon.
I'll do that.
I've been wanting to watch that and Spectacular, but I don't like how they did the symbiote like transformation in the Amazing, because he like
Amazing was very hampered by censorship. You can tell.
No. What I mean is like how they did it was like the suit would literally create totally new like clothing on him, but they were different colors. Where like any other version of the symbiote suit, if he's like making clothing, it's black. Or it's like black and white.
No, the original comics could do other colors, but
really, I don't like.
There's a part of that where I kind of like that it's hammy. It's like, look, it's a black T-shirt. It's like,
I love that.
That's so on the nose. I kind of like
that.
it, even though it's dumb.
I love that shit.
Spectacular, so good.
Spectacular. I have nothing to shit on.
No, absolutely nothing. Best Green Goblin design.
I had a couple of complaints about the movie. There were a couple of plot things that I don't think were explained well enough, but my brother went with me, and it was his second viewing, and he was like, oh, that's because of this, and he was able to explain it because it was his second viewing, and he was like, yeah, it definitely freaking helps watching it again, because it moves on quickly, and it doesn't explain itself very well. So that was very helpful to me. MJ in this universe is kind of flat of a character.
She's really weird.
She's
inconsistent between movies.
Super nice and super helpful and is always encouraging to Spider-Man and is like, stop being a bitch. But that's pretty much it. Like, she's just a support role. And that's it until the end.
So she's just a generic teenage girl then.
Yeah. That's what it sounded like. Because that was one of the things between the first two movies is that I like Zendaya in the role, and I think they have a good chemistry, but I think the fact that they keep kind of changing her character between movies is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's really not consistent. I
had
one thing.
The three Spider-Men playing off of each other was pretty freaking cringe, to be honest.
What? I love those scenes.
That's what it sounds like most people are pretty into.
Tobey Maguire...
So you're confirming that they are in the movie.
Oh my gosh. Definitely jumped back into his role pretty freaking easily.
That's good.
And it was like, yeah, this is how I remember him. He looks like he's going to cry at the drop of a hat any second.
Yeah.
That's my biggest complaint about the original trilogy. He's crying way too much. Andrew Garfield was kind of like...
Are you going to complain about how he moves his body?
No.
Okay. Because he's been doing that.
It seemed like he's had a little bit more difficulty jumping back into his role as Spider-Man, but I think he kind of got it. But he also carried the awkward humor from his movies and forces it into the conversation, and it's like, could you please stop? And then Tom Holland, of course. So it's like some really weird chemistry. It might work for you, it might not. It didn't really work for me. There was a very long scene of it, and it was like, what?
I really liked that they talked about the webbing.
That's fine.
Also, I really liked that we got to see him scream at the other Spider-Man. I love hearing Tobey Maguire scream. It's so funny.
I don't know, but I'm merely speculating because of it. It sounds like I've had everything spoiled for me, obviously. So it sounds like Tobey is basically in the place where you would kind of expect him after Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
The follow-up is like they're effectively not pretending that there was a Spider-Man 4 that happened off screen. It's like it's just been time, but probably nothing huge. Like it's just been time, and then. It sounds like they're not implying there was another movie, but it seems like Andrew, while there's been technically less time for him since his last movie, it seems like they're implying that he's been through a hell of a lot more. Like, he's not in the same place that we left him, in a sense. I'm not saying that explains it. I'm not even saying that that's the right choice.
That's not the vibe I got. It felt
I'm just
like
speculating.
Nothing had passed for him because he was still the awkward freaking weirdo.
I love...
Isn't that what you just said?
Yeah, that is what he said.
That's literally what
But he doesn't like that. No, I mean, no, I don't mean like that. I mean,
passed for Andrew Garfield.
Oh, sorry, he's been through it.
Grown out of that.
No, I mean in the opposite direction because okay, we kind of have to get in this. It's basically both of the other two Spider-Men are trying to save Tom from making the same mistakes that they did, right? Right. So Tobey is trying to keep him from killing someone, which he did basically by accident, in a sense that he kept Tom from killing Norman, blah blah blah, whatever, and then. It seems more like Andrew is trying to simultaneously go through the shit he's still dealing with from TASM 2, because he's like, yeah, I stopped, he stopped pulling his punches, he's angry, blah, 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 whatever.
Oh, right.
like all that makes sense, but he feels like...
Basically, we got a BVS, we have a BVS Spider-Man. That's why it's
sure. I guess to an extent.
Punches.
Like to an extent. Whereas
I'm a hardened veteran Spider-Man.
To an extent, but he knows that he's not doing okay. And it seems like him working with the other two is reminding him what he was, in a sense, of what he sees in Tom, and then what he could be later by looking at Toby, I think. Again, I'm implying. And
Maybe.
So, because it sounds like because Toby doesn't have much of an arc in that sense. He's left alone. And then Andrew continues developing in this movie to an extent. Like, he's given more emotional weight, even though it's less nostalgic bait. Like, people care about Andrew less, but he's given more to do.
There was definitely nostalgia bait with both of them.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Andrew, definitely for sure. 100%. No doubt.
Oh, well, yeah, because, the thing. Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, that's Spider-Man.
I think you never really liked Andrew as Spider-Man, did you?
That is not true.
I don't remember. That's why I'm at, because that's what
Snap that neck.
I liked Andrew more than Toby.
I mean, same.
To
Me
be
too.
honest.
By a long shot, but
Even after rewatching.
Even though at the time I knew that he was way older than the kid he was trying to portray, and it was like, this is freaking weird.
Yeah.
But that was like one of my biggest complaints about the series. I liked the chemistry he had with Gwen, and I really liked that they were doing Gwen instead of MJ because
I'm glad she died.
I like Gwen better.
I mean, same, but
they did her death really well.
Yeah.
that is a. I heard all this really positive stuff, like, initially when they came out, and I'm like, that gives me hope that I'm not going to hate this, blah, blah, blah. It has integrity, it's not, like, creatively bankrupt, whatever.
Right.
And then I hear the sequence where he saves MJ in this movie is just about as visually boring as the rest of all this shit, and I'm like, that's lame. Not because it's boring visually, because if you compare that moment as effectively being a sequel to watching Gwen die, that's, like, a masterfully crafted sequence in a pretty mediocre movie. But, like, that... just how it's shot, how it looks, the effects is glorious. And then it's just hearing, it's like, it's just John Watts doing more MCU directing. It's like, really? Why bother trying to give something emotional weight if you're not going to do anything directing-wise? If you're not going to make it interesting or whatever, like... he's going to bitch about that even harder when he sees it. Oh, fuck. I have heard that some things are better in that aspect, but a lot of it also definitely looks like COVID shooting. Like, it's a lot of, like, shot reverse shot. These people probably weren't on set with each other stuff. Did you notice anything like that?
I hadn't thought about it. I will probably notice it now that you said it. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Thanks for ruining it.
Can we end the Spider-Man discourse now? I am
please.
glad that you enjoyed it, though. That does make me happy.
It's
Gives me
not
endorphins.
anywhere near as bad as you've been saying for a year now.
Cool.
Okay, moving on. Spencer, what have you read?
Nothing.
Your ass.
Really?
Someone interrogate me.
What?
I'm in the middle of finishing something, but I got really busy, and I've been
I hate when that happens.
I've
I feel
been
that.
really fucking sick for the past couple of weeks, so I'm behind on a lot of stuff.
I got one.
My next topic will be very interesting, but I'm not done with it yet.
All right. So this morning, I watched a movie, and it triggered this question in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Stand by. I need a date to back up what I'm saying.
Wow, you just saying standby is reminding me of the days of WandaVision. Oh, I miss those days. But also, the next show we're probably getting is going to be Moon Knight, so big cummies.
In the 80s, we had Conan the Barbarian.
Oh boy.
And that triggered a literal shitstorm of sword and sorcery movies that sucked ass. Until people got sick of it and they stopped making them.
Right.
Because they all sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am of the mindset right now, especially having read The Last Gods or whatever that freaking book is that's on your shelf right now,
Yep.
that genre is kind of coming back.
Swords and saddle fantasy?
Sword and sorcery. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So...
yeah, I think mostly on television, though. But anyways.
So what needs to happen to bring that genre back, and do you want it to come back?
Of course I want it back. That's like my bread and butter. I think, honestly, a lot of it being on TV is probably helping. Because...
what do you mean?
So we have our Game of Thrones, and then that ended, and it's in the genre, even if it doesn't, it betrays itself a little differently, it's still in those stereotypes.
Yeah, pretty close. So then Witcher, of course.
And Witcher is following in its footsteps to an extent, and I'm, enjoying that and whatever, and that is very popular. We're going to have the Lord of the Rings show that's coming up pretty soon, which will go for at least, I believe they said their plan was 5 seasons, And that's going to be a long time between each season, like, production-wise. So that's, like, a good chunk of time.
I haven't heard about Wheel of Time. How is that?
I haven't heard... I heard...
My dad's watching it, and he said it's good, but also he likes the Cowboy Bebop live action.
Ooh.
He likes it until the last episode.
So we don't have a trusted source on this.
No, we don't.
Vaguely on the internet, I heard it's, like, solid enough visually, but it sounds like there are a lot of, like, story changes that are, like, pretty cringe or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I'm hearing the cringe criticisms that certain people always bring up when anything happens that I usually dismiss as usually being fake bullshit. It sounds like there's actually some of that going on. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The cringe.
They made a character a woman instead of a man.
Yeah.
Ooh, I guessed it right. Ha!
Yeah, like that
was gonna make it worse.
that genre of criticism, which usually means nothing.
That's beautiful.
Is that a Batman?
No.
Is that a Lego?
It's Batmite.
Oh my god!
Someone made an edit of Ben Affleck as Batmite. That's great. And so I'm like, oh wait, that's right. Peacemaker confirmed that Batmite is in the DC universe.
That's so great.
Is that the freaking house
guy.
elf from Harry Potter? Like, with a Batman suit on?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Dobby.
Dobby.
A wet ass Dobby.
So anyway,
Make it slap. It's a wet ass Dobby.
Stop. So swords and saddles and fantasy and
Sword
witchcraft and okay. So I think there was a bit of a good resurgence in like the mid to late 2000s around that, and then the Hobbit trilogy kind of pushed it forward a little bit more.
they tried remaking Conan the Barbarian and Clash of the Titans, and they both failed.
Both sucked. I don't think it's gonna ever quote unquote come back in full swing and be like good, because I don't think it ever was. Aside from that really foregone time in like the 60s when every single damn movie was either a western or had swords and saddles and witchcraft in it. I don't think we're ever getting back to that ever again.
No, I don't want every movie to be.
But like
sword and
that
sorcery,
late 80s, early 90s,
I want a good one.
Most of that stuff I think was crap then too.
Yes.
So I think it being on television is actually for its betterment, because you can get a more like time of it, more runtime, and B, TV's still kind of more popular, and it has been gaining even more popularity than movies for a long time now. And
that's because of the streaming services.
And streaming services aren't going anywhere.
Right.
And COVID made that doubly so. So I think it's back for the most part, if I'm being honest. I think when Lord of the Rings comes back is when it's really going to kick off. Because then you'll get 18 more shows that are like, we can definitely make money off of this.
Does Harry Potter count as sword and sorcery?
It does.
I don't think they have swords, though.
They do have swords.
Do they really?
Not a lot, but they do have swords. It fits in that aesthetic.
Interesting.
It's in the genre.
I'm not a Conan the
Me
Destroyer
neither.
fan.
Me neither.
The Barbarian, whatever the frig.
Yeah, me neither. And then you have there's a lot of cartoon revivals of those shows lately that I think have been pretty good. The new He-Man is great. She-Ra was fucking dope as shit. I don't care. I will die on that hill. A lot of those shows have been doing really well.
We get it. You're gay.
That has nothing to do with it. It's really good shit, dude.
I've never seen it.
I hate the original He-Man, except for the memes, obviously.
Never seen it.
I do want to see the
Same thing with
He-Man.
Thundercats, never like that. But the more recent shows have been solid to an extent. So I think it's back, kind of, in a sense. So I think you have a question with false premises, actually.
Well, I was looking more for like... But I was looking for more like a D&D...
There is supposedly a
themed
D&D movie coming at some point, too.
Like, not
literally D&D?
D&D movie, but I want those elements in a movie.
Yeah. I actually kind of liked Warcraft, to be fair.
haven't seen
I
it.
kind of liked it. It's not amazing, but it was pretty solid. It was fun. A lot of good mocap work.
Really?
Finished product was pretty rough, but I think the actual mocap work itself was really good.
So you're saying you want the director's cut?
No, I'm...
Leave him alone.
God damn it.
Leave our poor boy alone.
Stop it, Squidward, you're scaring him.
I think I have gotten to the end of your question, my good sir.
I always mess that up. It's Patrick. Stop it, Patrick.
You're scaring him. So if you want to hear any more of our really weird, scared rambles, you can go over to patreon.com/dimecomicbros.
As usual.
Shut up, Colin. You're the one with cum brain right now. Over there, you can get lots of exclusive content, like our additional podcast segment, Dime Comic Bros Happy Hour, which releases every week.
Somebody's been drinking early.
You also get exclusive access to our podcast a few days early. You get lots of weird clips and sound bites and weird shit. Weird shit. Oh, that feels weird.
Thank you to our patrons.
I'm
Thank
so
you to
proud of
our
you.
patrons.
Our 2 patrons,
I
Wesley
forgot
Eaton,
your name already.
Wesley Eaton and
Jeff
Jeff Lawrence.
Got
There
it.
you go. So proud of you. Thank you for
because
giving
I
us
needed
money.
this.
Feel free to send us an email at dimecomicbros@gmail.com or visit our website at dimecomicbros.com. Go look at it. Colin, don't put that pencil up your nose. Colin, that's
But
bad.
it's a digital pencil. It's safe.
It's not
There's,
real.
there's no cancer up there now.
It's not real.
Colin, what the fuck is wrong with you? Don't wipe it on me.
Use my boogers.
You're disgusting.
Also, thank you to our partners over at Jetpack Comics and Games in Rochester, New Hampshire. I was there like 2 hours ago, and it's still super cool. They still have comics all over the place.
Damn.
And action figures, and
They're figurines.
they are action
They have
figures.
both, actually.
They have Funko Pops, too. I don't know what those are. They're not action figures.
They're figurines.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
They're Funko Pops.
But also, like, really cool shit locked up in glass cages so that children like Colin cannot touch them.
Oh.
What, you mean Shranos? Yes.
Yes, I saw that. I was
love
like,
that.
I'm gonna get that for Spencer, and then I saw it was $200. I was like,
Thanos.
They have a, there's a,
Shrek Thanos?
yeah,
yeah, they swapped the heads
On his
on them.
throne.
It's so funny.
Oh my god.
It's great.
it's so
guys.
awesome.
So next week is going to be a news week. That's going to be fun. And we'll also obviously be talking about more Book of Boba Fett.
Do we know
We're
what's after?
we're gonna have a Moon Knight trailer to talk about next week.
Shit, my ass.
What were you saying?
Do we know what's after Book of Boba yet?
As far as I'm aware, we might be getting another, because Bad Batch isn't going to be for a little bit longer. So I think the next show is probably going to be Moon Knight, actually.
Well, daggum.
I should read.
We're getting a release
the old
date
Moon
from-
Knight comics, or not the old ones, but 2014 one.
Yeah.
Again.
We're getting a release date from Moon Knight on Monday. That's the next Marvel show for sure. And then if we're getting another Star Wars show, they have no marketing for it yet, because we are getting both another season of Bad Batch, Andor, Mando, and Obi-Wan next year.
Endor.
I mean, not next year, this year. So that's a lot of that's a lot of Star Wars. Holy crap.
Yeah.
And Andor is definitely coming before Obi-Wan, if I remember correctly. So that might be the one after Moon Knight, I think. Anyways, so we'll be discussing lots of news and trailers and stuff next week. Make
Also,
sure.
I got a Spider-Man book cooking.
Oh
I
dear
should
Lord!
be done this week.
Oh dear Lord! Yeah, so make sure you tune in for all of those weird shenanigans. If you want to listen to what we'll be doing immediately following the ending of this recording, make sure you go give us money on Patreon so you can listen to us drunkenly ramble about weird shit. Mostly just screaming at each other, and Colin will probably try to wipe his nose on me again.
What's this?
Thanks
stop
for listening.
Did I have something else to say?
Bye, I
don't
love
think so.
you.
No, you don't.
Fuck you.
Balls.
It's pointed at your balls. Almost.
My balls aren't that long.
No,
Wish
I mean,
they
it's
were.
pointed here, and it's closer to your balls than anybody else's, so.
That is true. Colin, you should get your balls underneath the microphone.
You should put your balls right here, so
Ugh.
that you're closer to the microphone.
I'm good.
Nice. It definitely feels like a, what's that show? Mystery Theater 3000 or something. Where
What? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Stop. You're such an old man. I know what you're talking about.
I don't. I'm too young.
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
What the hell is that?
It's two freaking idiots that have puppets and they watch shitty horror movies and they riff through it the whole time. And it's supposed to be more entertaining than the shitty movie. I've never watched them. I've always just preferred the shitty movies by themselves because I can riff through my own movies. Thank you.
Strange. I've never. Oh, that! Oh my gosh, that's so old. That's like early YouTube. Holy crap.
Netflix brought it back. That's the part that breaks my brain.
Oh, that's weird.
It's weird.
So it's about Jonathan Kent doubting himself and dealing with the fact that he was gone for like 5 years off in the future. So he thinks he knows when his dad is going to die. Are you guys okay? Christ.
I just made it worse, bro.
He did! I didn't think it could be made worse than it was.
I saw my dad coming to Superman, but my brother's Superman, though.
Please stop. Please stop.